Hello everyone, it is time for our Bible reading. Today's reading is taken from the book of Joshua, chapter 11, verses 1 to 23. I will be reading from the New International Reader's Version. I read, Jabin was the king of Hazor. He heard about the battles Israel had won, so he sent a message to Jobab. Jobab was the king of Madon. Jabin sent the same message to the kings of Shimron and Akshaph. He also sent it to many other kings. Some ruled in the mountains in the north. Some ruled in the Arabah valley south of Kinnereth. Others ruled in the western hills. Still others ruled in Naphoth Dor in the west. Jabin sent the same message to the people of East Canaan and West Canaan. He sent it to the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, and Jebusites. They lived in the central hill country. He also sent it to the Hivites who lived below Mount Hermon, in the area of Mizpah. Those kings marched out with all their troops. They had a large number of horses and chariots. It was a huge army. The fighting men were as many as the grains of sand on the seashore. All those kings gathered their armies together to fight against Israel. They set up camp together at the waters of Merom. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. By this time tomorrow, I will hand all of them over to Israel. All of them will be killed. You must cut the legs of their horses. You must burn their chariots." So Joshua and his whole army attacked them suddenly. They fought against them at the waters of Merom. The Lord handed them over to Israel. The Israelites won the battle over them. They hunted them down all the way to Greater Sidon. They chased them to Misrephoth-maim. They chased them to the valley of Mizpah in the east. Not one of them was left alive. Joshua did to them what the Lord had ordered him to do. He cut the legs of their horses. He burned up their chariots. At that time, Joshua turned back. He captured Hazor. He killed its king with his sword. Hazor was the most important city in all those kingdoms. The army of Israel killed everyone in Hazor with their swords. Its people had been set apart to the Lord to be destroyed. Israel's army didn't spare anyone who breathed. Then Joshua burned down the city. Joshua captured all those royal cities and their kings. He and his men killed everyone in those cities with their swords. He totally destroyed them. He did just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. Many cities were built on top of earlier cities that had been destroyed. Israel didn't burn any of those, except Hazor. Joshua burned it down. The army of Israel kept for themselves the livestock and everything else they took from those cities. But they killed all the people with their swords. They completely destroyed them. They didn't spare anyone who breathed. The Lord had commanded his servant Moses to do all these things. Moses had passed that command on to Joshua, and Joshua carried it out. He did everything the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua captured the whole land. He took over the central hill country and the whole Negev desert. He took over the whole area of Goshen. He took over the western hills. He took over the Arabah valley. He took over the mountains of Israel and the hills around them. He took over the area that begins at Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir. The area ends at Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon below Mount Hermon. Joshua captured the kings who ruled over that whole land. He put them to death. He fought battles against all those kings for a long time. Only the Hivites who lived in Gibeon made a peace treaty with the Israelites. No other city made a treaty with them. So Israel captured all those cities in battle. The Lord himself made their people stubborn. He made them go to war against Israel so he could totally destroy them. He wanted to wipe them out. He didn't show them any mercy. The Lord had commanded Moses to destroy the Canaanites. At that time, Joshua went and destroyed the Anakites. They lived all through the hill country of Judah and Israel. They lived in Hebron, Debir, and Anab. Joshua totally destroyed the Anakites and their towns. There weren't any Anakites left alive in Israel's territory, but a few were left alive in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. So Joshua captured the whole land, just as the Lord had directed Moses. Joshua gave the land to Israel as their very own. He divided it up and gave each tribe its share. Then the land had peace and rest. May the Lord bless the reading of his words. Amen.